don't exist in a libertarian society. You just counter bad speech with good speech.
Yeah.
And hope for the best.
That's how Ian definitely feels. Like, apparently there was a video of somebody calling him a pedo. So Mark got it taken down on YouTube. And Ian said, "Mark, why did you do that?" And he got it put back up.
That's funny.
That's good to know, because I went hard against Mark on that.
Oh, really?
Yeah, because he asked every one of us to.
Oh,
to
that was
it.
more recently that Mark asked us all to do it, but that was when Ian was in jail.
Okay.
I'm not sure if it was the same video, but I know what you're talking about.
Yeah, well, it was a video.
We're now streaming.
It was, oh, sweet.
We were already on the air for this whole time we've been talking, but now we're streaming, so sorry
Even
about
better.
that, internet listeners.
What do you mean? We've been on for like 2.5 hours now.
Oh, yeah.
You guys just missed it.
Been here just chatting it up.
Phone's still not working, though.
Yeah, maybe that can get fixed because Ian is on the phone.
Okay, well, we'll play it by ear. But yeah, Mark encouraged all of us to also take the thing down. Like, I don't.
Well, Mark isn't a libertarian, so just so everybody knows.
Okay, well,
he's a Republican.
I told him I felt bad and wouldn't be doing it for ethical reasons that I thought Ian would agree with me on.
So I never got Ian's opinion on that the more recent time, but yeah,
Okay.
I did go and try to flag it. It didn't happen. It didn't matter. They didn't take it down the second time.
That's funny. Sounds like you had your viewpoint was more in line with what Ian would have done anyways.
Well, and that's what I shared. The position of Free Talk Live has always been counter bad speech with good speech.
Mm-hmm.
So if someone out there has a YouTube video, promoting bad speech, the only thing you can do is put out a YouTube video or, talk about it on the air or whatever, but you can counter it and you can comment on that video, right? It's, unless they close that off, but usually you can comment on the video, pointing people in the direction of the good speech and saying this video is not true. Here's where you can find the truth, and then go on about it that way and hopefully drown it out.
So do you think in a libertarian society there would be no lawsuits for slander at all?
I'm suggesting that it wouldn't be heard in any arbitration because it's someone's opinion or whatever.
But what if you can prove that it did cause people to, it cost you business or whatever?
That's very difficult to prove, but the slander itself is just free speech. So,
a few weeks ago, you and I were on the show, and I don't remember who we were on with. Maybe it was even Stu or something. I don't remember now, but
Angelo.
We kept teasing an article we never got into. It's about the Chinese that were pretending to have jobs.
Oh, okay.
And I thought about that the other day. I was like, we never got into that, and we teased it a bunch of times.
Do you have it pulled up?
Yeah.
Okay, go for it.
So
I'd have to dig for it.
This is from the BBC. It says, China's unemployed young adults who are pretending to have jobs. And honestly, for some reason, when I think of China, I think of like a 0% unemployed rate or something.
That's the official figure.
Really?
No, I don't know.
Oh, okay. I was like, what? Okay.
All right, but everyone has to work, and they got all the farmers and whatever. So.
I just never really think about it. I just think, like, if you're not, like, if you have all your limbs, they're probably putting you to work somehow.
That's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
The unemployment is 0 because they'll find something for you to do.
It says from this article from the
Dig a hole,
BBC.
fill it back up again.
Says no one would want to work without getting a salary, or even worse, having to pay to be there. Yet paying companies so you can pretend to work for them has become popular among young adults in China. It has led to a growing number of such providers. The development comes amid China's sluggish economy and jobs market. Chinese youth unemployment remains stubbornly high. Okay, at more than 14%.
Okay.
Wow, there's like so many people there, but that I guess that just
My first question when I read this was like, okay, they're unemployed and they're paying for this service. Where are they getting the money to pay for the service?
Yeah, that's what I thought
they're
too.
They're not working. They're like dipping into whatever like how many young people have enough savings to pay to not have a job?
They're probably running an under the table side gig.
Okay.
Oh, that's a good point. Maybe they're drug dealers and it's so shameful in China they have to go to an office.
Okay, all right.
Well, that's
I'll
a really
accept
good guess. I didn't think about that. I was thinking, is it just so lavishly rich over there that somehow people just have so much savings and they decide not to work, but that's shameful? So they go pay. I don't know. Let's see. It says, with real jobs increasingly hard to come by, some young adults would rather pay to go into an office than just be stuck at home. Shizu, 30, had a food business venture that failed in 2024. In April of this year, he started to pay 30, do they say it yuan?
Sure, I'll take it.
Which is about $4.20 per day, $4.20 per day, to go into a mock-up office run by a business called Pretend to Work Company in the city of Dongguan.
Do they give you a fake pay stub to
And
take
it
home
says-
to your parents or your wife?
But it says Pretend to Work Company
No,
at the top.
it's like, whatever.
But also, it's just like, if you're pretending to work, I would want to stay away from a company that said Pretend to Work Company.
Especially, the pay stub, sure. But,
Maybe,
put whatever you want on there.
I don't know. I wouldn't want that on any paper trail of mine if I was trying to pretend to work and didn't want people to know.
No, you got to show something, right? Initech. I work for Initech.
It says that in the company, or in the city of Dongguan, which is 114 kilometers north of Hong Kong. There he joins 5 colleagues, in quotation marks, who are doing the same thing. I feel very happy, says Mr. Zhu. It's like we are working together as a group. It's so weird.
It's a team project of doing nothing.
It's like working.
It's the
but
ultimate
not.
government job. Just show
my
up
God.
and do nothing.
Oh my God.
But you don't get paid.
If you went and interviewed the people at the housing office on the military base I lived in Utah, they'd probably be like, "I feel very happy. It's like we're working." Like they don't work. They're the worst people.
Or was it Japan? Japan has like the shame room. Like, because you're not allowed to quit your job really in Japan. Like, if you're not good at it, they just put you in the shame room.
Oh my
and they
God.
just don't give you anything to work on.
That's hilarious.
But they continue to pay you. So you're employed, but you do nothing. And that's just shameful in that culture.
Oh my God.
Yes, I've been in the shame room for 30 years.
I could see why that means that the people in China that are unemployed just absolutely don't want to just stay home and do nothing because it's just shameful.
Could be, yeah.
Such operations are now appearing in major cities across China, including Shenzhen, Shanghai, Nanjing, Wuhan, I know that one, Chengdu, and Kunming. More often, they look like fully functional offices and are equipped with computers, internet access, meeting rooms, and tea rooms.
Oh, there you go. You can just go there and play video games all day without having your mom yell at you.
And drink
Get
tea.
a job. Drink your tea.
Get all hopped up and ready for the day of work when you're really going to play video games.
They're just Minecraft farmers. That's their real job.
Oh my God. Those people that, no, I guess that's actually a job. I was going to say those people that sit there and they like Twitter posts or whatever on a whole bunch of phones. No, that's like a real job. So
Yeah. But if you could do that in China from this pretend to work place because they have internet access.
I mean, they got to pay for this pretend to work somehow. So what the heck
No,
are
they're
they
paying
actually
like
doing?
they're paying $5 a day or $4.20 a day.
Oh yeah. Well,
Right. So the company's making money off these degenerates, I'll call them.
how does the company pay for like the internet bill on $4.20 a day with these people? I guess internet could be really cheap there too.
Yeah, I don't know what the cost is in China.
It says, and rather than attendees just sitting around, they can use the computers to search for jobs or try to launch their own startup businesses. Sometimes the daily fee, usually between 30 and 50 yuan, includes lunch, snacks, and drinks. That's pretty
Okay.
cool. I mean, this is a better place to go search for a job than sitting at your house, I guess, especially if you just like, you don't want to get lazy. Like if you lost your
Alright.
job and you were like depressed about it and you don't want to get lazy, you don't want to get out of the swing of things like getting up, getting dressed, and brushing your teeth and leaving the house,
Yeah.
but you're still actively looking for a job.
I hear you.
It's not bad.
Yeah, but they're paying for it.
Yeah.
Right? Like if it were me in America and I felt like I couldn't find a job from home, like I would go to the library, right? Because the library is free and they have the internet.
And they have communism, and the library should be free, right?
Well, I don't know if it's free in China. Obviously, we're libertarians, so it should not be free. But
No,
it
but
currently
under their
is.
communism.
Yeah, should be.
It
Same
probably
thing.
is. Yep.
I'd be shocked if it wasn't, because they like to brag that everything is better there. When you go there, they're like, yeah, well, we do have less freedom, but we don't care. Like, it's better.
Yeah.
And I heard one say, because I was watching this video of a girl from Russia that visited China. She like hated her time there. She definitely cares about like freedom. And she interviewed 2 Russian guys actually who were going to college in China. And she was like, don't you feel like it's like, oh my God, there's like not enough freedom and you hate it here? And they were like, really, really awkward. First of all, I felt like they did not want to get kicked out of China.
Yep.
They were like, well, actually, we think it's better. And the reason is like things like facial recognition, keeping you out of a college campus if you're not supposed to be there. And so that's why there's no shootings. And we think that's like wonderful. I was like, that is crazy.
Yep.
But of course, they always have to flip it in their mind that's better.
Yes, and it's not China, but again, when I had older conversations with family or my dad in particular, right? His answer was like, "There's nothing illegal that I want to do." Mm-hmm. Like he had boxed himself in to everything that he wants to do only exists within the sphere of what's legal. Right? Like, no, I'm perfectly fine with the situation as it is because there's nothing I want to do that's outside of that box. All right, well, there's a lot I want to do that's outside of that box.
Yeah.
We got to expand the box or get rid of the box entirely, or I'm just going to like blast my way through the box. But
Yep. I feel like
you can mentally put yourself in that box and just say, no, it's perfectly fine. I don't want guns on, I don't want people to own guns. I don't want there to be free speech because I like the safety of my little box in my little university in China.
Yeah, that's like the quote that she said, I freed 1,000 slaves and I could have freed 1,000 more had they known they were slaves.
Yeah.
Yeah, they put themselves in a mental box and they can't.
I get fed,
Right.
I get housed, and all I have to do is pick cotton all day long. Right?
Yep.
Why would I go against this system?
Yeah, there's a strong incentive to stay inside of there. So
And then the whites would use it too. They don't even want to leave. They like being slaves.
Yep.
Well, it seems like that's probably the case in China, but I don't know if it's really the thing going on with these people who have these fake jobs. Because like you're saying, it's like, how can they afford to pay? Maybe it's very short term. Like I could see paying, the equivalent of $420 a day to do this while looking for a job to avoid shame.
If unemployment's 14%, it's got to be longer term than that.
Maybe it's just so they don't get yelled at by mom and dad.
That would be insane. That'd be really crazy. But like they would have already had to have savings. Maybe they have a family member or some kind of welfare, like for while they're unemployed.
Something.
That told them that.
Excuse me, is this where I get a license to start a new business?
I wouldn't be hasty. You have to get a license to go out of business, too,
Oh, well, look, I've invented this little anti-gravity machine, see?
Is that why you're walking 2 inches above the floor?
Oh, yes, it's very comfortable. It saves on shoe leather.
Yeah, well, you have to fill out these forms and report to the Human Services Department of Manpower Orientation and register with the Fair Employment Practice Commission, the Wage and Hour Division of the Employment Standards Administration, the State Sales and Income Tax Division, the Internal Revenue Service, and the Social Security Administration of the Department of Health, Education, and Welfare, and, of course, OSHA.
OSHA? I thought that was a little town in Wisconsin.
You'll find out. Say, floating around like that could be dangerous. Have you checked with the Consumer Product Safety Commission?
Well, not yet.
Come to think of it, you actually are flying, aren't you? Look, you need to go over to the Federal Aviation Administration and the Transportation...
It's very hard to get anything done these days if you're in business, but free enterprise built this country. Think what could happen if we don't keep it free. A public service of this station and the Center for the Defense of Free Enterprise, Bellevue, Washington.
We just can't have people floating about unregulated,
From Feature Story News in Washington, I'm Simon Marks. Ukrainian President Volodymyr Zelensky is accusing Russia of a ruthless attack on his country. The roof and upper floors of the main government building in Kyiv were set aflame after airstrikes on the Ukrainian capital. Elsewhere, 4 people were killed in a wave of attacks. Ukraine says more than 800 drones and missiles were launched by the Russians on Saturday night. President Zelensky, appearing on America's ABC News, urged more US and European pressure on Russia and says all countries need to boycott the purchase of Russian oil and gas.
I'm very thankful to all the partners, but some of them, they continue buy oil and Russian gas, and this is not fair.
President Trump said last week that he would speak to President Vladimir Putin at some point in the coming days. In other news, South Korea is sending a charter plane to collect 300 of its nationals who were detained in an immigration raid on a Hyundai electric car plant in the American state of Georgia on Thursday. More than 475 people were arrested in the raid, months in the planning, by President Trump's immigration and customs enforcement officers. South Korea's foreign minister is travelling to Washington on Monday for crisis talks with the US after conceding mistakes may have been made by South Koreans applying for American visas. Meanwhile, the president's immigration czar is pledging a wave of new raids on so-called sanctuary cities across the US, Democrat-run jurisdictions that offer a measure of protection to migrants seeking to shield themselves from ICE. Tom Homan spoke to CNN.
You can expect action in most sanctuary cities. President Trump's prioritized sanctuary cities because sanctuary cities knowingly release public safety threats to the streets every day.
Nearly 900 people were arrested in Britain at a rally protesting a new law that makes it unlawful to express public support for Palestine Action, a group now proscribed under the country's Terrorism Act. Organisers claim Saturday's demonstration in London was a picture of peaceful protest. The Metropolitan Police says its officers were punched, kicked and spat on at the event. Japan's Prime Minister Shigeru Ishiba has announced he's He's stepping down after growing calls from his party to take responsibility for its big loss in July's parliamentary elections. Mr. Ishiba, who took office in October, has resisted demands from mostly right-wing opponents within his own party for more than a month. The 68-year-old says he will remain in office until a successor is chosen by the governing LDP. And thousands of people have been paying their last respects to fashion icon Giorgio Armani. He's lying in state in Milan ahead of a private funeral on Monday. Donatella Versace was among those joining mourners to pay her respects to a man considered the most influential designer of his era. From bureaus worldwide, this is FSN.
You can stick it to the man and big tech. Join our FTL social mastodon at social.freetalklive.com.
Which doesn't hurt, but
just if you're 2 years into it.
But of course, in this case, it wasn't the battery that died; it's the unit that died.
Oh, I think
so that wouldn't even matter.
And I still don't hear it.
But like I said, I mean.
Thank you so much, Chris. It's Free Talk Live, and it's normally talk radio that you control, but you honestly can't call in tonight because we had a lot of problems. 60. Oh wait, I was gonna say number 2. No, it's not. I swear it's not. Whatever.
I'll take the blame.
Don't need to talk about it on the air.
Didn't actually do anything though.
It's Stu's fault. It's Bonnie's responsibility.
No, it's not even my responsibility. It is Ian's fault in this actual case. And it's been my fault before, but I'm not taking it this time. But I am glad that we got to get a little bit out there. We got to be streaming, and I'm definitely a little out of, I'm a little out of whack. I wasn't going to be on the show tonight, but
Kahuna left us.
Poor Kahuna.
He abandoned ship.
It's not
screw this, I'm leaving.
It's not like I was like, oh, I have to be on. Stu couldn't possibly do it. I just was already sitting here. We were testing things, and I don't mind, to be honest. Just that it's a little confusing. It's whoa. And now everything's working. Are we actually on, etc.?
There was a lot of scrambling for the first 2.5 hours of the night.
Yes, and I'm so glad for our neighbor, who I don't think he likes his name to be put out there. So I'm so grateful to him. I'm so grateful to Penguin, who you might have seen if you're watching the stream, for coming here and fixing it, because that was stuff that the actual internet company thought something was wrong that wasn't wrong. So
and it still might be. Because when they talked to them, and there were still errors that was being transmitted when they test the signal. So we've got it jury-rigged for the night, and we still should look into it more, which is also why the phones haven't come back on yet, because there's still issues, but we've got it working this far.
Yep, that's a really weird thing, too, because basically I'm always just pressing this one button whatever. I don't feel like the listeners really need to hear about that or care about that. But with you in the studio tonight, you've got me, Bonnie,
Stu,
and Richie Rich.
And in the last segment before we went to break, we were talking about, in China, there are kids, well, not necessarily kids, young adults.
It's likely mostly, young adults.
Pretending to work. And they're actually going to pretend to work at a company called Pretend to Work Company.
And paying for it. That's the important part. They're paying to not go to work just so they look like they're going to work.
That is so weird. And I think Stu had such a great guess that maybe some of them are doing under the table jobs. And I said selling drugs. It wouldn't even have to be selling drugs in China. If it's communist over there, they could be doing some kind of under the table thing, some kind of thing that seems pretty normal to us, but it's actually illegal there or something. And they need to be going somewhere every day so they don't get reported or something like that.
Yeah.
That's crazy. It says Dr. Christian Yao, a senior lecturer, and this is from BBC.com. Dr. Christian Yao, a senior lecturer at Victoria University of Wellington School of Management in New Zealand, is an expert on the Chinese economy. None of us. We were all like, isn't the unemployment rate 0?
Well, I was jokingly saying it was 0. Yeah. I don't know what it is, but I do recall the old the Milton Friedman anecdote where he took a trip to China. I think it was Milton Friedman. He took a trip to China, and they took him to a dig project for a building, and all the workers were using shovels. And he said, "Well, why are you using shovels and not the digger?" They go, "Oh, this is a jobs project." Right,
yeah,
so
make work
stuff. Mm-hmm. Goes, oh, okay. If this is a make work thing, give them spoons.
Yeah.
Right. Then you employ a whole bunch more people. Right. So that's kind of maybe it's old thinking, but that was the mentality at one point. was you just make work for them to do, and then you call them employed. Right?
The Russians had that figured out during the Soviet reign. They were sending guys way up north, telling them to dig canals in the frozen ground with wooden spades.
There you go.
Oh my gosh!
But they're employed.
Wait, were those people like prisoners or?
Yeah, gulag prisoners. Yeah.
Whoa.
Work camp.
And based on those thoughts and theories, right? I've got the solution for American unemployment. Right, you just call sitting on your ass a government job, and then you just pay people the welfare. Right, so they're on all the people on welfare. You just call that a job. You're a stay-at-home employee working for the government, and bang, your unemployment numbers go up. It's functionally useless, right? But it looks good from the government's perspective.
Yep. And that's basically what I've noticed with government workers. They're sitting around and they're just like, if you have to walk into a physical building they're in, they're like, what? Somebody walked in here, and they're all like flabbergasted and they don't want to help you. And
yep.
It's ridiculous. I used to live on a military base.
That's why no one likes the DMV.
Yep.
The DMV is a soul sucker.
For some reason, I just haven't had the worst experiences in them. I don't know why. Just like anytime I've had to go to them, I'm like, oh, this is going to suck. And it ends up fine.
Has that been your experience everywhere or just here?
I would say it's just never been horrible. It's never been like, oh my God, this is awful. And I've done it in Utah.
Okay.
I never went in Texas, now that I think of it. So I've only done it in Utah and New Hampshire.
Okay.
But
it used to be horrible in Utah, and then they opened up like 3 or 4 extra DMVs that took a lot of the load off, and so it became not so bad. But I remember in the late 90s, it was awful.
Yeah, I've gone to the Manchester DMV to like renew my handicap placards, right? And I'm like, I don't have time to go first thing in the morning. So by the time I get there, there's a line. It's a half an hour to get to like the front of the line to pull a ticket, and then you move to the chairs and wait for them to call your number. It's like all of this just to fill out a form, and get my stuff. So it's not as convenient as it could be, right? Like I could mail in the form and they could just mail me the placards, right? I could just fill out the form online and I have to do it that way. But no, you got to like go down there with all your stuff and stand in line and wait around. But if you get there early enough, like 8 o'clock in the morning, the line is short and you're in and out, fairly quickly. So,
or if you can make an appointment sometimes, but not all of them let you do that.
Yeah, if you can make an appointment. But this is like, you got to come down and fill out the form.
Arizona was great. We just went to some little office building that wasn't even a DMV. It was like privately run little company, and they issue license plates right there. And they didn't even want to look at my car or anything. It was just like, do you have some money and a title? And I was like, yeah. Then here's your plates.
I've been to the one in the rich neighborhood in Hawaii, and I was like the only one in the office, and it was like in and out to register. Yeah, it was in and out to register a moped, like less than 5 minutes, because there's not a lot of, there was nobody there. It was still in the afternoon, out like after work, but just not the main one. So it was like the satellite office, and nobody was in there, and I was in and out in 5 minutes.
I've had a horrible experience at like a exact type of thing you're talking about. It's like a private office building in Texas, in San Antonio, but I didn't need a whole new license plate or driver's license. I needed the stickers for my license plate in Texas that like say you've been inspected. So I had to go get inspected, and the inspection place put the wrong date on their stuff they gave me. They put it for the future. They put it for the next day. And I had to go to this little private office building that they like worked. They had a contract with the government or whatever to give me my stickers. And they told me I had to come back the next day because even though I had just went and got it done, it was a Vaseline or whatever it's called. Valvoline.
Okay.
Is that
like
what
the
it's called?
oil? The motor oil?
Yes.
Okay.
I went there to
Like
get
car
the
care center
inspection, and they somehow put on their paperwork that I got it done tomorrow. So, and even when I had to go back, it was just awful. And this was like private or whatever. Maybe it's not even private. Maybe it's government, but it seems like it's the same thing you're talking about in Arizona.
You can't post-date an inspection?
Yeah, I couldn't believe that happened to me. I definitely cried that day. It was so awful. And in the end, it's like, oh, it finally got done. Now I'm paying $150. I don't have to have these stupid stickers on my license plate. I'm so glad that's over in New Hampshire.
Yeah, it'll go into effect in January.
Whoever that person was got the job just so they could power trip on people.
Yep.
Because there's no call for that. That's ridiculous.
Mm-hmm. I was like, can you call them?
That's the kind of stuff, though, that the DMV ends up putting you through all the time. Seems like people who want to power trip are drawn to having that job.
Yes.
Absolute power corrupts. Absolute power corrupts. Absolutely. You give them their little fiefdom at the DMV where they control it, right? Like you want to drive, you got to go. Every paperwork goes through them. If you upset them in any way, then they're just gonna like not give you what you need to get. Like, oh, you're not gonna get your license today. You're not gonna be able to register your car today. You're screwed because you upset me, and I'm on this side of the counter with the power.
I've
and
seen
there's
way
no
less,
competing agents.
I've seen way less power corrupt people or make them just like lose their mind. Radio show power, stupid crap like that. Just like things that don't matter at all. A calendar on the internet. Like, I have the power to put these entries in under this calendar on the internet for this group we're in. You're not allowed to do that because I'm the one who's allowed to do that. Like, it can be so small and corrupt or just like make you do things that you would never think you would do. Like, I think everybody immediately thinks it's government only. No, it's like power, period.
Right.
If you think you have power over other people.
Just go to a libertarian meeting and let them like list off the Robert's Rules of Order from their bench. I am the chairperson and you shall be quiet. Nobody cares about us libertarians, but in this room I am in control.
Yep. Petty tyranny seems to be a popular thing.
It's a very human thing.
Yeah. I have no desire for it. I'm not sure if I'm broken or something.
I don't
want to wield power over anyone, though.
I don't want to wield power, but I will absolutely wield power, right? Because like my biggest pet peeve is like when my reality doesn't meet my expectations, right? So if someone says they're going to do something, I just expect it to be done. And when it's not done, I go like, now I'm just upset. Like, and you know, I want the control to just make you do what you said you were going to do in the first place, and then we're cool.
Yeah, I don't want to claim I have no propensity to it or anything. Like, just the first thing that popped into my head at the Pork Fest soapbox idol rant.
Okay.
They said like, all right, so anybody who wants to go put their name in. These are all the people going, and I was like, I think I might want to go, and I was like, well, sure, I'll talk about this. And I went and put my name in late, and the guy looked really like he didn't want to say yes, and I was like, oh, sorry, but he did it anyway. And then he said no to somebody else in like 5 minutes, and I was like, oh, they're definitely letting me do it because I don't know, they just like me and they don't want to say no to me. So am I going to say like, oh, I don't want that? Like, no. Like, no.
I want the name that gets me the good VIP seating at the restaurant.
Yeah, I'm not gonna say like there's never. But the thing is, like, I want like power over my own life. I don't want power over other people's lives. Like, if somebody didn't want to be like, if Ian doesn't want to be married to me, which is never going to happen, I'm just saying, why would I want to be like, no, you have to? That's weird. I mean, like, I would be very sad, obviously, but the idea to force someone to do something they don't want to do for my life.
Yeah, no, I get that.
I believe that about myself, but I'm trying to like let things pop in my head that.
I just want to hold people accountable. Right. And sometimes you can't because like, what are you going to do? You can't force them. Right. You just eat it. And like all of a sudden what you thought was going to be done doesn't get done.
I think that's different though than what it is for most petty tyrants, where it's just, they just have, you know, they just get joy out of having an effect on the result.
I get you. But what I'm saying is if I was the petty tyrant and could compel them to do it, I would, because they said they were going to do it.
Well, I might get on board with that too.
That's all I'm saying.
People doing what they said they were going to do.
Right. If you say you're going to be here at 10, you be here at 10. If you're late, like there's a penalty. And I want to inflict that penalty on tardy people all the time.
Oh, I'm glad I don't work for you.
Or the slow car in the left lane.
Oh, yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
If you could compel them to move off the road.
Yes.
Right. With either a honk or a nudge.
I've definitely honked at them. Yeah.
That's not being a petty tyrant though. That person's messing with you. You're not messing with the guy at the DMV who denied you just because he doesn't like how you dress that day.
Yeah, you're right. But if I could get away with like nudging them out of the way, right? That's like if I was the king coming through, like just the sight of the king's chariot would compel them to move. I would absolutely ride the king's chariot.
No, I don't see anything wrong with that. That's fine.
Okay. Glad we're on the same page.
As long as you're not, as long as you're not just trampling people down with the king's chariot.
If they don't move,
just for the fun of it.
Yeah, right? No. If they don't move, if they don't yield to the king.
Do you mean like, say they're going 40 and a 60 in the left lane? Are you saying you wish you had the power to like kill them over it, or just the power to
gently nudge them out of the way?
Force them to move.
Nudge them out of the way.
So then I don't think there's anything wrong.
Compel them to move in some way if they refuse to move.
But I didn't know if you meant like, I wish that I could press a button and my car turned into a monster truck and I could run them over or something.
I would take that.
Oh my God.
If that was allowed, I would take it. Because if they knew it was allowed, they would feel compelled to move before we got to the violence.
Like as soon as you press monster truck mode, they'd be like,
right.
Meow.
Yeah, only very brave and fast drivers would get in that lane at all.
Yeah. When, my old car, when I was in Hawaii, and more brash about this, like I had it wasn't from the website, but there was a website called like leftlanedrivers.com or something. It might still exist. And it was a sticker that you put on your windshield. So I made my own, and it printed the words like "move over" backwards. So when they looked into their rear view mirror, they could see that your car says "move over." Mm-hmm. Like, I'm on your bumper, you should yield to me. Just move over.
Whoa, wait! How would you display the sign to them?
Like the word ambulance on an ambulance in the front, where it's backwards. So when you look in the rearview mirror, it's the right way.
Oh, okay.
So mine said move over, backwards.
It was a light?
No, it was printed on copy paper.
But so it was just always there?
Yeah, I just stuck it to my windshield.
Oh,
right.
That's pretty good. Would a cop ever pull somebody over for that?
I got pulled over for lots of things, but I've never been pulled over specifically for that.
Wow.
But I would also, before face masks were cool, right, I used to wear a face mask. So I had like a blacked out beanie, blacked out sunglasses, and a face covering, and I'd be on your tail.
If I looked back and I saw
my
that,
sign said "move over."
Yeah,
I would, move.
You would move, right? And so
I wouldn't care if I was like, I'm already speeding, leave me alone. I'd look back and see that, and I'd be like, oh, okay.
I'm getting out of the way, right?
Yeah,
so that was my little way to move people over.
In Mexico, they use their turn signals to tell the other drivers what they want them to do. Instead of signaling what they're about to do.
That's really funny.
Okay.
Which I think is kind of a better idea. Because if you want someone to pass, you just tell them. And sometimes you don't know if it's okay to pass, but you can pass if the guy in front of you can see better than you can, and he tells you to pass on a curve or wherever, then...
Sometimes I will do that when I get around him.
Yeah.
Right? I will slow down and signal from the left lane, the right signal, like you should be moving.
Yeah.
And I'll leave that on for a little bit as I drive off, and hopefully they get the message that, hey, maybe I'm in the wrong lane.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And also you can sometimes be in a line of traffic that you're all behind this one slow car, and you're like, if I was 3 cars up, I would go around him, but those ones aren't. Why won't they do it?
Yeah.
That's so annoying. It's just because they're afraid, even though it can get completely wide open and they just won't do it.
I did signal a lady on my drive over here, not tonight, but a long time ago. There was a slow car and she was behind and I was behind her. And so I crept up on her, to make that move. Right. And she brake checked me and looked in the mirror, and I just told her go around. I signaled to her, just go around and we'll both get around. Mm-hmm. And the next time there was a passing open, she went around and I went around, and it was,
nice.
It was good communication.
Yeah, that's
I'm
her
not
actually
riding
looking
you.
at
I'm just trying to get around. We should both get around this car.
Yeah, that's her actually looking though. I feel a lot of times maybe it's drugs or something. Or music in the car. I don't know. I feel a lot of times people aren't even looking at you. They're not looking at anything. They're just looking straight ahead. And so they wouldn't even notice if you had move over on your thing. That's the first thing I thought of. I was like, might be something to look into, but
put it on there anyway for the people that do check.
Yeah, that's a good point.
And for the people that don't check, give them a hunk.
That is a good point.
And then they'll look.
The lack of spatial awareness for a lot of drivers is quite disturbing.
Yeah.
So people get in their car and they just go zombie brain.
And also the fact that a lot of people just go I'm not at fault, you're at fault, no matter what brain. I don't know what that is called in a shorter term, but I noticed it because of the fact that one time a car actually said sorry to me when they did something dangerous. Mm-hmm. And I was like, whoa, that is standout, because it's never happened before. And I've been in so many situations. I'm driving and someone's about to accidentally very dangerously cut me off or something. And you drive by and you're looking at them what the hell, man? They start flipping you off. But one time that happened to me.
That's the usual reaction. Yep.
That happened to me in Massachusetts on Highway 2, and it's my favorite place to drive, so this is just another reason why. A guy was just carelessly gonna go into the left lane that I was in, and I was going to pass him. I was coming up to pass him, and he was just gonna go into my lane, and I had to slam on my brakes. I could have hit the wall in the middle, stuff like that. It was so dangerous, and then he moved right over. I pass him and I look at him what the hell, and he put his hand up to be
yeah,
almost the white flag, and he said sorry with his mouth.
You get the opportunity to say sorry.
And he went sorry, with his mouth. I couldn't believe that. I was it seriously, I felt flabbergasted. I felt because I was looking at him so angry and he did that, I felt like kill them with kindness type of thing. I was killed with kindness, I guess. Yeah.
No, I screamed at a
just so
dude.
abnormal.
I screamed at a dude a few weeks ago because like I was making a left turn from the left lane, and he was making a left turn from the right lane that's supposed to only go straight.
Oh my God.
Right. So he like tried to turn behind me, but tried to get around me on the turn.
Yeah.
And then had the audacity to honk at me. Like, oh my goodness. You, sir, are getting so yelled at right now. Or bam, turned out to be a sir. But like we pulled up at the light and his like girlfriend rolled down the window to like talk to me and I just buried them.
Nice.
Expletive deleted.
There was a time recently.
They did deserve it. They absolutely deserved it.
This week, that three-way up at the top of the hill on my street that's you're allowed to keep going, but the two other ones are supposed to stop?
Yep.
I was going, and a car just decided to go. It's like she maybe thought that I was going to have a... So I honked at her, and I was so annoyed because she honked back.
Yeah, no, you laid into him.
And then, I'm like, whatever, I'm behind her, and she just, passes the... She, starts speeding and passes the stop sign, and normally I don't care, but I just honked at her just to be like, you're just a maniac loser. Yep. Basically, so I honked at her and she just continued driving and honked back, and I was like, okay, I respect it.
See, I was coming to one of those the side stop, and there was another car coming to the down stop in that same spot, and they blew through the down stop, and then they did something and I parked or they turned around or something and they said sorry, like, oh, we didn't see you.
Oh, wow.
So there's some good people around here, but you got the opportunity, right? Like I saw you shouldn't have done it because I was there first and I'm supposed to be able to go before you get there and you didn't slow down or anything. But yeah, they apologized.
I wonder if he apologized because he was sorry or he was like, oh, I didn't know he was going to be right here as I'm parking.
Could have been. Yeah, could have been one of those things too. I don't remember what it was. Well, that was a while ago.
One thing that's similar to the story we had about the Chinese people who are just going to work to pretend to work, this from CBSNews.com. Fewer young people are meeting these 5 milestones typically associated with adulthood. They're just not meeting these at all. And I would assume this isn't China related. It's probably
American Zennials.
Probably. It says fewer young adults are achieving economic and family milestones typically associated with adulthood, according to a recent working paper from the U.S. Census Bureau.
There you go.
The paper looked at nationally representative data from 2005 and 2023 to examine changes in young adults' experiences reaching major life events, such as moving out of their parents' house, getting married, and having a child.
Yep.
Did you guys move out of your parents' house in your teens?
I went to college at 17, and I had my own apartment second semester. So I've been in and out of my parents' house. If something comes up, when I moved home from college, I lived at my parents' house, my mom's house for a little bit, and then moved out, and then moved back in. When I got hit by the car, a few months after I got hit by a car, my landlord terminated my lease. So I was like, oh man, I got to get out of here quick. I don't know how long it's going to take to find another reasonably priced spot. So hey, can I move home for a little bit? And so I moved home for a few months and then, made the trip up here. So
I would say something similar because right when I graduated high school, 2 weeks later, I turned 19. So I stayed living with them for that whole first year. And right before I turned 20, I moved into an apartment. So I had that for a while. I moved into a house after that. But then I moved back in with them for a while to save up to move to Texas.
Yeah, so that makes sense.
So
and, if you have nice parents, they're usually pretty good about that.
My parents didn't make me pay rent or anything like that.
Yeah. My mom tried. And I went, if I'm going to pay rent, I'm just going to go get my own place. I'm here because you want me here. Right. And it's free. If it's not going to be free, I value living on my own and having the privacy of my own place, not this. So you figure it out. If you want me to pay rent, I'll find a new place. I'll give you 1 month and then I'm out.
Yep.
I didn't end up paying rent.
Nice.
Because she wanted me there.
She did want you there. Yeah.
She wanted me there. She's discouraged me from moving out several times. Nah, I'm out of here. I'm not my sister. My sister so didn't want to move out. She built a house on top of my mom's house. Oh. And that's where she lives.
That's awesome.
Sure. If you think so.
I don't know. If that's what she wanted and your mom wanted.
Whatever. They turned a 1-story house into a 2-story house. just so my sister will never have to move out.
But your mom wanted that too?
There was some...
They agreed to it.
Yeah.
I think there was some benefit to the old style of extended family living under one roof.
Yeah, you get someone to do stuff for you.
Yeah.
Hey, run to the store, or we need money, or whatever it is. And then when I moved here, my niece moved into the room that I was staying in. So my niece moved from the upstairs house to the downstairs house to be closer to her grandmother.
Nice.
And she'll never move out either.
Yeah. My cousin is currently living with my grandma. I think that's really good because she's, old and her husband died, so that's nice.
No. Find a man and get out of the house. My sister remarried and they moved into the upstairs part of the house. Like, come on, man.
Thanks.
I just don't see anything wrong with it.
Yeah, I don't see anything wrong with it either, but yeah, the thing about it is...
You gotta leave the nest and build your own, man.
People are doing things younger or older, but... I don't know, are the outcomes going to be better? Like, if you have a kid older, would the outcomes maybe be better? More Free Talk Live coming up next week. freetalklive.com for more. Thanks for listening. Peace.
So the protection of life, liberty, and property is what the Free State Project is all about. But it's an effort to move 20,000 people who understand.
It's about demonstrating to the entire country
that, yeah, we can have a free market, a truly free market.
Making it just a freer, great place to live.
It's ideas. There's a lot of kind of philosophy that surrounds liberty. There's a lot of thinking about it and talking about it. But here in New Hampshire, people are doing it.
101 Reasons Liberty Lives in New Hampshire, a documentary by Free State Project Early Movers. Watch it free at 101reasonsfilm.com. 101reasonsfilm.com.
How many lawyers does it take to change a light bulb? None. They'd rather keep their clients in the dark. There are too many lawyer jokes to count. However, there are some lawyers with more noble intentions. At the Institute for Justice, we bring the light to our clients. We are a non-profit public interest law firm with clear values and principles. At IJ, we fight for those whose most basic rights are denied by the government. Visit our website today at ij.org.
What if you want to hear the latest episode of Free Talk Live, but all you have is your phone, you forgot to download our archive, and you have no data connection? You can call our Listen line at 641-793-0191. That's a long-distance number, so you may incur charges. If not, listen as long as you want. 641-793-0191. The Free Talk Live Listen line, 641-793-0191.
Coming up next after the news, Hour 1 of the latest episode of Free Talk Live, here at listen.freetalklive.com.
From Feature Story News in Washington, I'm Simon Marks. Ukrainian President Volodymyr Zelensky is accusing Russia of a ruthless attack on his country. The roof and upper floors of the main government building in Kyiv were set aflame after airstrikes on the Ukrainian capital. Elsewhere, 4 people were killed in a wave of attacks. Ukraine says more than 800 drones and missiles were launched by the Russians on Saturday night. President Zelensky, appearing on America's ABC News, urged more US and European pressure on Russia and says all countries need to boycott the purchase of Russian oil and gas.
I'm very thankful to all the partners, but some of them, they continue buy oil and Russian gas, and this is not fair.
President Trump said last week that he would speak to President Vladimir Putin at some point in the coming days. In other news, South Korea is sending a charter plane to collect 300 of its nationals who were detained in an immigration raid on a Hyundai electric car plant in the American state of Georgia on Thursday.